Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Tube. And we have a double bull of excitement here, all from Disney Plus, of course. But before we start talking about those shows, first of all, let me introduce you to my cohorts. Alongside me, I have cousin Cheeto. How you doing?
What's up?
And beneath us both, we have Ginger Greek. How you
Our
doing?
Me and Zam's bottom.
Her. Yes, I always like being the bottom. Let's get this show on the road.
Fantastic. So what we're going to do is talk about the first episode, the premiere episode of Ms. Marvel. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't necessarily not looking forward to this in the sense that I just wasn't very excited about this show going into it. But I have to say, I was a little bit pleasantly surprised by it. I can relate to some of the things, being an Asian person myself and of Islamic descent and so on, because I'm an ex-Muslim. I totally understand what some of the things that are happening, and some of the sort of like dialogue as well. I can really appreciate that. And I have to say that Iman Vellani, she's she's perfect for this role in my opinion as well. I mean, she's very adorable and she looks like Ms. Marvel, like how she's like straight from the fucking comics. But before we start talking about this episode, I'm just giving you guys my opinion of it. Cousin Chico, what did you think of this first episode and everything else you can mention?
I mean, I thought it was really good. I like how they're kind of leaning into like the fangirl part of it, where it's not just fangirl. I mean, like superhero fan of it, where it's like you've got these larger than life characters. Like this is what real Smash your pass. Who? What? Okay. Anyway, um,
I'll smash.
okay. But I really appreciate the fact that they're kind of leaning into this, and that's Ms. Marvel was a fangirl. Like in the comics, she was a she was a Captain Marvel. Well, technically a Ms. Marvel back then, in that black one piece swimsuit. Um, that's what Carol Danvers was. Um, but she was a fangirl, and I appreciate the fact they're leaning into that. And that if this was all happening, like if the MCU was real life, we would have like an Avenger con. I'm surprised that they're just saying now. I'm surprised they didn't say, "Oh, this has been going on since 2012," like the Avenger con, because you know how we are. We idolize these people, whether they're good people or not. And I mean, although the Avengers are good, still, it's like I'm surprised that this is the first time. This is the first Avenger Con. It's okay. All right, fine. But I really like this episode. I'm not really familiar with Islamic, family structures and stuff like that. So a lot of that was going over my head, but I was trying to absorb it all. So I kind of got a lot, I wanted to learn more. So, I mean, but that, a lot of that I was just trying to absorb and learn. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was really well done. Kamala, the actress who plays Kamala Khan is really good. And of course, she has her best friend who is a genius, of course, who's, able to make anything out of nothing. That's as all, you know, geeky guys are, I guess.
All fucking superheroes need a friend like that. They always happen to have a friend like that, somebody who's a bit tech savvy. But I guess you liked it, yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did. I liked it. I thought it was very well done, in my opinion, as I said.
Ginger Greek.
Yeah, it's all right. I loved the cinematography in the show. I love how they play with the cameras and all the animation styles that kind of pop up. Her imagination kind of running wild and it's like projected and all this kind of stuff. Love that little touch. It's something different. Um, yeah, this is gonna be in terms of like we're getting it from a point of view of a fan, little kids, and them being fans, which is kind of cool. Um, so I like that little touch, and we kind of enter that little world now of just regular people and what they think of the Avengers and all this kind of stuff. It was nice seeing like an Asian family on there. A lot of the stuff we see take place in there, obviously, 'cause growing up around the Asians as well, you kind of see it. It's kind of it's sweet. It's nice seeing that something a bit different. Don't like the acting from the mother and Kamala Khan is a little bit shoddy, especially the mother, very wooden. But overall, for a first episode, it's fine. It plays it very safe, very high school tropey. But this is I'm coming into this show always with the knowledge that it's going to be more geared towards a younger audience, and it's trying to get like a different kind of younger audience in, and it just makes it easier to watch because you're less judgy on it, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, before we start talking about the show, let's go to some of the comments here. That's Daniel Vaughn says Bruno reminds me of Data from in the Goonies, an inventor whose inventions work. Fair enough.
He's like that in the
Yeah.
comics. Yeah, he's like that in the comics.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
And Jose says, "See up, y'all. This was a good first episode of Ms Marvel. Looking forward to seeing how they expand on how she gets her powers. Yeah, I am interested in the origins of that bracelet, to tell you the truth, because if it's from her grandmother and that happens to be her mum's mum, then maybe her mum knows a little bit more about this shit than she's letting on. So yeah, okay.
Well, I just wanted to, but that does also, open up a can of worms. Like, okay, so is this another superhero we just never heard of? And I'm as I said, if they tactfully integrate it into the current MCU canon, that's fine. But it's just like, I don't want it to be some like big old superhero. Like she was like this big Asian superhero back in the day, and like we've just never heard of her before. And it's like, yeah, you're stretching a bit there, like.
Daniel Vance has actually come up with something quite brilliant because the gin was mentioned a couple of times. And maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe the gin's in the bracelet holds it. I think he thinks the bracelet holds a gin. That's a good one, actually. What's this? Manumbe has witnessed something go mad as a result of wearing the gauntlet. Manumbe?
Is that the actress who plays the mom?
Or is that I'm thinking like Black Panther characters. No?
No.
Maybe.
It was a dark and stormy night cliche. Oh yeah, well, it was when she found the bracelet.
Yeah, I mean the bracelet. Yeah, I mean one of the theories a friend of mine banded out is that it could be tied to the 10 rings and that kind of world over there, and maybe the grandmother just kind of got her hands on it because she's a junk collector and never really looked into it. It's just something she found, which would make a lot more sense rather than some big hero that we never heard of being there, because this is where you get. I don't like when you have things that, when Iron Man kind of came to the forefront, then all of a sudden you have like all these other heroes living in the past and all this kind of stuff, and it's just you enter dangerous territory here. So I'm hoping it's just something simple like that. It's tied to the 10 rings or that kind of world, or like the not Tibet, but where all the fucking Doctor Strange and his lot are maybe tied to that kind of world. Because again, if you're dealing with Pakistan, you're dealing with like that kind of area, Kashmir, and all this kind of stuff. So it could be tied there. And it's just something that existed that fell out from there, and the grandmother just held it as junk and never really used it for anything. That would make a lot more sense than,
I thought the mom said something about she saw it, basically inferring that it had been used in the past, and like, oh, that's nothing or something like that. Like she got really worried when she saw it in her hand.
The mom saw it and got worried. So maybe, again, in that region, you never know with superstition and all this kind of stuff, and maybe it just got buried and forgotten about. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it, but hopefully they don't do something dumb.
Look, 0 out of 5 stars because no Terrigen mist.
Yeah.
You think she should have opened it up, and then like the mist should have came out and got her, and like dust should have came out to kind of psych people out. I thought that would have been great.
Get it all kick-started. Get the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Manumbe is the mother. Okay, fair enough. I think it's related to King Solomon, which would fit the history of the Jinn.
Okay.
That's
I'm not too familiar with that area.
Anyway, this episode begins with Kamala Khan on her YouTube channel, which only has 2 subscribers, and she's made a video with only 5 views.
Yes, we're beating somebody.
Take that, you bitch.
Yeah, and I have to say she made a nice little montage regarding the events that happened in Endgame. and how far as she was concerned, Ms. Marvel came in to save the day. And she did pretty much to a degree. I mean, she definitely threw a spanner in Thanos' works for sure by destroying his ship.
I mean, Thanos freaking headbutted her, and she just kind of shook it off. Like she didn't even shake it; she just kept staring.
Yeah. I mean,
That was like one of the best parts of that movie.
If it wasn't for him like grabbing that power stone and knocking her into next week, maybe Ms. Marvel would have fucked her up.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
Captain Marvel, no problem. But after, so we get all of that, and we kind of find out who Kamala is. She's a bit of a daydreamer. She lives in a bit of fantasy land and stuff like that. Is that kind of in line with the comics there, Ginger Greek?
I think so, yeah, but I can't remember. I'm going back now because obviously I haven't read it in a while. But yeah, she was a bit like that in the comics as well. But in the comics, she's just more like a uber like fangirl, like crazy fangirl of
Captain Marvel.
Of Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel as it was back in the day, and yeah, and obviously with the origins being completely different in this one. It's but it's that being said, that opening animation again, it just adds to what I said earlier, just about the cinematography in general was really nice. It was a nice touch. It was really beautifully done and animated, and again with this girl being a daydreamer, maybe she has ADHD, but again in the animation stuff, it's like fantastic. She has that talent there in that sphere of things, and yeah, so it was a cute little opener.
Jose, she pulled off the greatest move ever on Thanos. That doesn't work for me, brother. I'll never. Funny enough, there's one particular movie I want to compare this to that I was actually not the biggest fan of, but a lot of people loved. It's Scott Pilgrim, and
that's right. Yeah, it's got similar vibes to that.
It's got with the way the animation is blurred into reality around certain things and stuff like that. What I found funny as well is that they seem to be a very traditional, Pakistani family to a degree, traditional in that sense, and they're gossiping and commenting and stuff like that. But they're totally cool with Kamala having a white male friend, which I found a bit weird.
That really kind of stuck out.
Yeah, especially when they're talking about how this one of the other girl they know has gone to Europe, gallivanting around Europe, and met some Gora boy. Do you know what Gora means, Shito?
No, I do not.
White. Yeah. So met some Gora boy.
Like maybe the only thing I would guess into why it's acceptable is because maybe they just literally grown up together since they were babies.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the only way, but not if it's someone she just met in high school. But if they grew up together from little kids, because he's a neighbor and it's just up the road, so I'm guessing that's why it's acceptable.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I did find that a little.
I don't feel weird. It's acceptable.
But
yeah, but that's because you're a racist. You don't want your white pure kids mixing with anything brown.
Oh, I meant like the name calling or whatever. I was kidding. Keep going.
Shut up, Cora.
But you kind of get an idea of who Kamala is as well in other aspects. Yes, she is a daydream as well, but she's a free spirit too. When she overhears like her mum and the aunties talking about this girl going off to Belgium and meeting a Gora boy called Rob, she was happy. She was happy that this person was doing what they wanted to do. And then you heard the tailor going, "Oh, she's a troublemaker, this one. Yeah, she's a troublemaker indeed." And and we kind of see that in the politics of their home as well. She has an elder brother who is a little bit religious, but is able to basically do what the fuck he wants. With the blessings for the family. But with her, she can't do what the fuck she wants. She has to ask her parents and all of that sort of stuff, and the parents have always got one eye on her. They are like human fucking camcorders. Security cameras on her. They're questioning her and shit. I mean, they are so.
Sorry, much.
So I just read your private message. They're so invested in everything she does that they'll even check up on her when she's sleeping at 9:22 p.m. Who the fuck goes to bed at 9:22 p.m.? You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially at that age.
Yeah, at that age as well. So, those were the like when it comes to the dynamics of the house, I found pretty cool. I like the way Bruno was how he gets involved with that family by creating some like electronics and doing some sort of Siri in their house. Zuzu, put the TV on,
Alexa.
and of course
Alexa,
they're gonna of course they're gonna fucking watch cricket. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that was those are like some of those stereotypes I very much appreciate as somebody who's just.
But it's a nice touch. Yeah, it's a nice touch because if it'd have put on like fucking baseball or American football or whatever, I'd be like, come on. A Pakistani watching that stuff.
Yeah.
No,
and that's why I think it's very important. What is the director and is the director?
Everyone that wrote in there is Pakistani. I don't know if the
No,
director
I mean,
is,
but I feel like
they're all
that's why this is important, because you can have those cultural nods that a dude like me writing this stuff, I wouldn't pick up on, even if I sat there and did a bunch of research on it. Those are the little idiosyncrasies that a dude like me writing something like this would not get. Like
yeah.
Now, one of the things my God friends have liked in the past, the ones who I still know today, to the ones who I'm no longer friends with, who I've moved on from my life, but just growing up during my period, is how they always loved my mom's cooking. And like Bruno would come, he would chill, he would be helping out with the electrics and the stuff. The mum would see him, goes, hey Bruno, better, you staying for dinner?
Dude, I knew Zam was either going to hate this show or have so much fun with it.
Better, you take some food. Packs a whole fucking thing.
Like all these fucking tiffin tins. I done it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. He's like, how did you pack that so fast?
But honestly, my mates, have always, when my mum was around, they always just wanted food from my household. My mom was happy because she loved it. She loved the fact that people love their Indian food. They're getting authentic Indian food, not the fucking shit you get in fucking Sainsbury's. You know what I mean? Let's
the
read
shit you get from Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly read some of the comments. Daniel Vance, the stickers on the side of Kamala's locker represents members of the Young Avengers. Okay,
I didn't see the stickers. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Stupid hippies. I don't know what you're talking about, but fair enough. The Zuzu device that struck me as odd. Pazu was the demon from The Exorcist, and all the talk being afraid of the jinn. Something wicked this way comes.
Oh, interesting. Vance, we need to get you on the stream for the next Marvel one.
We've tried.
But because the thing is with Vance, he's a bit like
he can just plow us with the knowledge of the
comics. But he's a bit like Jim now. Like he's just been words on the screen, and when you've known him as words on the screen, the last thing you want to do is break that idea of what he could be, and you just want him to remain as words on the screen. I never want.
He would do great at like Easter eggs video. If we ever did a weekly Easter eggs video on certain things, he would be fantastic at it. Like I would pay him for that if I got money for this.
See, if I had to come on screen, I would want him not to show his face. I want him to be in a silhouette, and then he'll need
a voice modulator.
A voice modulator. That's for sure. He has to remain a mystery. You know what I mean? A little fucking question mark for a face. Yeah,
big blue FBI dot.
Yeah, right.
So okay. So we get the grandmother sending some items in the box and stuff like that, and she's going through it, and that's when she sees the bracelet, and then the items end up in the attic, and that's when she sees it up there as well, and by this particular time, she's also spoken to Bruno about trying to convince her parents that they want to go to AvengerCon, because that's really what it's all about, AvengersCon. We do see some other dynamics as well within the school. she's not necessarily a total social outcast, but she's not really with everyone either. No one's really shitting on her and stuff like that.
She's like an in-betweener. I'm kind of glad they didn't kind of go down that trope of there's going to be a couple of bullies that are bullying her and all this kind of stuff. She's just more like an in-betweener. Just kind of there, not really paid attention too much, which makes a lot better sense.
Guess who's joining us now? He can't contain himself.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You can't do a stream without DLC McMahon, and this is the very first episode of Ms. Marvel, only on Disney Plus.
Hello, Hosea.
Let me get my fucking animal out. Look, here's my bird.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Today's my birthday, so yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday. Oh, look, there's a dog.
What up, dog?
Where's your cat? You got a cat as well, haven't you?
Yeah, cat's in the background, just kind of chilling, being a lazy self.
Yesterday was Riker's 4th birthday.
Nice, happy birthday, Riker. Yeah, I thought this was actually a good episode.
6th birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying regarding this first episode is one of the strongest first episodes of most of Disney Plus shows. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's one of the better
generally, like maybe Star Wars as well as Marvel.
Moon Knight was pretty. Moon Knight episode 1 was pretty good in my opinion. I would.
Moon Knight. But it wasn't a bad episode.
No, not at all. I'd still rank it up higher. I would definitely rank it up higher than like WandaVision.
I love the opening episode of Captain America. Sorry, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I like that one
too. That's a fantastic first episode with the action scene in the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, Loki's was okay.
Loki's first was all right.
I think
WandaVision's was good. I liked it.
It's all right.
Yeah, WandaVision is probably the weakest out of everything I've seen for a first episode. Like, it was okay, but you're not really going to remember much.
I liked What If, but I understand why people didn't like it because they all didn't like a female British Captain America.
A female British Captain America.
Yeah.
Okay. Amy Atwell could do whatever she likes, but
yeah, she can do whatever she wants.
In general, was naff.
That's what she said.
All right, go away, you attention seeker.
We've lost control, everybody. The animals are taking over.
Yeah, they're like, that doesn't work for us, brother.
Okay, so we're now we have like Kamala's plan in how to get to the convention on time.
This was great
because you can see how she plans it out and how like her whole family are like loving her existence at the dinner table to her.
Yeah, while praising my existence, we're going to go ahead and sneak out and get on our bikes, and then we're going to jump on this bus, get in the bus, and then we've got 30 minutes to take selfies, win contests, do all this other shit. Yep.
Everyone's going to love me.
And then my dad will come in and check on me at 9:22 by the time I get back.
Exactly, and I found all of that to be really bizarre. I'm really happy that how she planned it and how it paid out. It was totally different, and such is life. But going on to the convention, unless you guys want to talk about what I just mentioned earlier, but going on to the convention, I was geeking out pretty hard. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jose.
All the references and jumping ahead. The thing that got me was the giant Ant-Man head. Just considering that Ant-Man is so tiny, but they made a big ass fucking statue of him, or
he can be big as well, can't he? He can be just as big as he can be small. So
tiny dude is big. Tiny dude is big.
yeah. So, but by the way, you know what? By the way, if I lost my bike, I said I'm done. I'm not going to. That's it. Fuck the convention. I just lost my bike. I can't enjoy myself anymore. It's over.
Yeah, but you put a lot of work into this convention. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like a bike is still important, but it's just like.
But do you think I'm ever going to see that bike again? I'd say there's about a 0.1% chance you ever get it back. In this city.
Also, her and Bruno, there is a will they, won't they sort of thing going on there because.
They're going to make him gay.
I hope they get it on. They seem quite cute together. So I hope You know,
I just don't want them to
works.
rush it, like in this first season. If they do it, I mean,
I think
By
it's
the
gonna.
end of the end, I think.
I think it's going to be one of those where if it is anything, it'll be a brief moment, and then we're never going to acknowledge it again because TV shows do that all the time. Like, oh, we had a thing, I totally forgot, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, like Bruce and Natasha. Okay. Okay. So we're at the convention now, and yeah, we see. Well, the thing that kind of bothered me was that there was a girl dressed up as Gamora. Would people who know who the fuck Gamora is?
Yeah, Gamora
Seriously?
and Dax. How do they know
Yeah.
Drax? How do they know?
Yeah, Drax.
People?
Yeah, because
how do they know these guys?
they've only been to Earth one time, I think, in their entire existence.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
and it was during the
According to
massive
the MCU,
war.
anyway. Yeah.
Drax was snapped. Gamora was killed off Earth before she even got a chance to go to Earth. Yeah, Drax was snapped and didn't even come to Earth. They only came at the end, and Gamora at the time was even though she changed halfway near the end, she was working for the bad guys. So yeah.
I think there might be something more though that might be coming out in Thor Ragnarok, because I wonder if the Guardians stuck around, like, and they'll address it at the beginning of not Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. Maybe they stuck around for a little bit. I mean, I know that at the beginning of, at the end of Endgame, they were kind of getting ready to leave, but I don't know. I feel like parades, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. But
that'd be the only thing that would make sense, is if it's like, oh yeah, these are the guys that saved the world, and that's.
But that's inferring a lot. So I mean, granted, you are correct. How do they know these people? There were no cameras there. Maybe they went to the theater and watched Endgame. I don't know. I mean, it can be meta as hell. Why not?
Oh, by the way, I'm jumping back and forth here, but her dad dressed up as the Hulk and her wearing a Hulk Shallow camise was like, this is the thing. Like I as somebody who's been brought up in Western culture, whose parents are from the East, so to speak, or in my case, the South, because they're from Tanzania. Is that if you never wanted, if you were up, you come to like these parts of the world to bring up your kids, or have like a different life, but then if you want your kids to be like they were from where you're from, that's never gonna fucking happen, because they're being brought up in England, in the USA, wherever it may be, and they're always going to have a lot of elements that makes them westernized. It's almost impossible for them not to be. And then you get upset that they're not Eastern enough. Well, if that was the case, they should never fucking come to these countries in the first place. I say that a lot. I have these fucking debates a lot with my fucking Uncle G's and Auntie G's and shit like that, and fucking Ali G's and shit like that, man.
Oh, mate, listen, I got it a lot as well. I'm the most non-traditional Greek, and growing up in the area was like mainly Cypriots who are very like arse backwards. Even the kids growing up at my age, they really kind of stick to that, and I'm very Anglified. But the difference between me and the Cypriots is I could speak my language fluently, and they couldn't, and so I always held that against them. I was just like, "Hey, at least I took the time to fucking
learn this
Greek.
shit." Yeah,
You lot can't even do anything.
Talk Greeky to me, baby.
Huh?
Just going on a subtle tangent here, like now my dad's a widower. After a few years, people wanted my dad to get remarried again, and I'm thinking to myself, he doesn't need to get remarried. He just needs a fucking girlfriend. You know what I mean? He doesn't. We don't need all the headache and all the bullshit that marriage brings. Some fucking woman out of nowhere coming into our lives and getting half of fucking everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't need to fucking happen. Yeah, you just need to get in. Like, that just seems totally like left field and absurd for some of these golden fucking oldies. I went, and one more thing, I went to a gay wedding with a couple and one of the guys was somebody I knew as a kid, and it wasn't until he hit his 50s that he finally was able to marry someone who he genuinely loved, because by that time everyone was either dead or so fucking old that they were irrelevant to do anything. You know what I mean? So unfortunately for some people, like the culture clash is still fucking there. And anyway, I'm going way off topic. I do apologize. All right. So back to.
Hang on, Vance has an interesting.
Let me pull it up. In the end credits, it should say. As he pre-Spider-Man, no shield construction whatsoever. This can't be long after Endgame. Well, the time zones are all different, to tell you the truth. Regarding the movies and the television shows, it's hard to know what's when and whenever. So,
I mean,
like,
I try to go off of what Disney Plus has it is and the MCU and timeline order where it falls, because normally they get clarification from Kevin Feige of where to put these on that timeline list because they want it to be accurate. So from what I've heard, Kevin Feige actually says this show goes here in the MCU timeline, and like it goes from Captain America: The First Avenger, because that was the first thing that's chronologically happened movie wise, all the way up through, and I think the last thing on there right now is Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight or Hawkeye, one of the two. So
it was theoretically Loki straight after, or it's actually during the course of Endgame. It's not even after Endgame; it's during Endgame.
Yep.
It's during the time travel
Loki
mission
takes
and stuff
place
like
during
that.
the Avengers.
yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it takes place at the end of time too. I mean, that one's a weird one. That's a hard one to.
What a catch!
I do like, however, that What If is right after Loki because the events of Loki directly tie into how What If came to be. You know what I mean? Like the branching timelines and everything. So
Yeah, and just regarding the Hulk thing as well, like there was no mention of She-Hulk, so obviously this is set before She-Hulk. Regarding the timelines and stuff like that. So, all right. So we're at the convention now, and Kamala is going to put on her Captain Marvel costume on and stuff like that. She does in the toilets, but forgets her gloves. And then finally, she puts on that bracelet, and it gets a bit Stranger Things, so to speak, with her, spinning it. Yeah, it goes upside down. While watching it a second time, I noticed that there's even people there. Like it's almost like an alternative universe version of the people that she's around. And then she goes back again, and she's like, tripping balls a little bit, wondering what the fuck's going on. Her eyes are glowing.
Yeah, it should have been they should have made that. They totally fucked up and made a missed opportunity to make it like an acid trip, because that would have been the perfect scenario to do that with. Like the very first time she experiences it, it's like she bugs out and it goes into like animation, kind of like with Doctor Strange when they, went through the shit that they went through. Yep. I would have done that same exact thing.
But we see it's her time to perform now, and she's standing there and she's doing all the flashing lights on her, and she can't handle it. I'm not sure if she's epileptic or anything like that, but she can't handle it. And then
just overwhelmed by the attention.
Yeah, I guess
because she's probably not used to all that attention.
Yeah.
I remember her mum
unlike a diva like Zam,
I remember her mum was saying it's gonna be so hard arm there and stuff like that. Shit, living in Jersey City's fucking haram, for fuck's sake. Anyways, but nevertheless, she's like shooting out these sort of like things. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, she's a bit like Green Lantern, isn't she?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, she more looks tied towards a kind of Green Lantern.
She can just like do things, like create things, and she had no idea what the fuck she's doing, and then she ends up shooting the giant model of Ant-Man's head, which then ends up starting a chain reaction of shit. This one girl in the school is like really impressed and wants to fucking hire her.
What was this head made out of? Bloody vibranium. It just destroys everything.
That was a big fucking head.
Well, you brought up a point. I'm like, that thing came down like a boulder, and like it was crashing through. It was crashing through walls and everything. I'm like, what the fuck?
The funny thing is,
a paper mache head.
Yeah.
Absolutely derailed the show there. That was
by the way, there was a nice memorial to Black Widow and Iron Man there as well. But but just to go back to what we're talking about, it started this chain of events, and when Thor's hammer comes down, I thought this is where Kamala's gonna save this girl.
She got fucking
happen. It's all fucking like Final Destination on there, isn't it? Fucking just goes through and shit. And then she goes flying in the air, and when she comes down, that's when Kamala catches her and stuff like that. But this is all being recorded by people on their phones, so they're all seeing this shit. And Kamala eventually gets, she has to go home now. She's already 2 hours late. Mum's there wondering what the fuck's going on.
Baby,
Very
where have you
disappointed
been?
in you.
Yeah, we are so disappointed. We are so disappointed in you. You don't get to squishy today.
Yes, I'm better. I'm so disappointed in you. You know, I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised the belt didn't come out.
We going to
Yeah.
hell. We going to hell for that.
Or
I don't
the-
give a fuck.
Or the slipper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, no more Bruno for you. He's a bad influence.
No more
I don't
Bruno for
care.
you. You're going to date this boy. You're going to get
Yeah.
married to him, and that is the way this goes.
But, but I like the way it kind of ended this episode with her saying, you know, do you want to live in a real world or you want to live in this fantasy cosmic world? And she falls back in her bed and she's like testing out her powers and she says cosmic.
Yep. So
Yeah,
we
I
know
mean,
where that's going. We already know. Yep.
And
She's
then we get a post credit scene, and we see the cop from No Way Home. That's the same guy who plays the cop from No Way Home, and he sees the power, so he's going to bring her in. And this will be interesting. Now, will this be after No Way Home or before No Way Home? We'll find out, I guess, next week or whenever.
But she had her mask on the whole time. I think they might be able to find out who she is, but I mean, like they can't visually get her because she had her. So
mask
I mean,
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless she registered somewhere and they find out which one.
Didn't they mention her name?
They'll have to go back by fingerprints or some kind of shit, like some kind of evidence, like
some
that.
shield fingerprint scanner tap.
Yeah, they're gonna do that kind of shit, and then they'll be like,
And
okay, if we find her.
And the girl she saved, she knew who Kamala was.
Yep.
Did she?
I think.
I thought she didn't.
Yeah, but I think that like this superhero world is a lot different now. Like it's not like, you have to pretty much cover your entire face to keep yourself inconspicuous. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
I just thought it was freaking convenient that one of the girls that from her school was there, then she doesn't even like superheroes or whatever. Like I'm like, really? Like why is she like?
Then why are you there?
Clout chasing, isn't it? Because she's got 100,000 followers on the socials, so she's clout chasing, highlighting the event and all that. And it's going to be tidy because if she's doing the event there, and let's say she's recording it for Twitch or the equivalent, and it captures it on there, it just adds more to the oh my, what happened kind of thing.
Oh, come on, let's call it what it is. It's Twitch, because we all know. I hate when TV shows do this when they're like, oh, we acknowledge the company, but we can't say its actual name. It's like when McDonald's gets kind of indirectly referenced. Yeah, it's like when McDonald's gets indirectly referenced, and we're like, we know what the fuck you're talking about. Just say it.
It's like a big W. It's like Wick Wonalds.
Yeah.
Whack Arnold's or something.
Whack Donalds.
Yep.
Daniel Vaughn says the way the people looked when she fell through whatever
dimensions. Yeah, that was freaky.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I want to see more of that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So now next week they have to go into like how she gets her powers and all that shit and how she's going to consume herself. And
next week we're going to go through the training montage.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
next week the training montage.
Yep.
And she ends up in Pakistan for the wedding as well, so there's all that to go through. Maybe that's where she learned more about it.
Well, what I've seen from the trailer as well, she falls for this guy as well, like this hot Pakistani guy as well. So that's gonna get Bruno all fucking jealous for sure. And
I'm going with Ginger theory. I think they're gonna make him gay because they always do that.
They're gonna make him gay.
Yeah.
They're gonna make him gay in the Disney way of making him gay. It's like he's gay, but we're not gonna show it.
Oh, you're gay, but we're not going to tell you that we're gay.
I think if he was gay, I think they would have kind of
hinted at it already.
Yeah, hinted at
already,
in my opinion.
Either that, or they're
going to go with the 100,000 followers. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either that, or they'll dodge it and they'll just say like, "Oh, okay, like you fall in love with this girl now," just because reasons unexplained.
Well, the way he and Kamala had that eye lock, on the rooftop, like there was something there in my opinion. So,
or maybe he's bi. I mean, come on, like
this Disney way of making him bi.
Let's not put him in a box.
But you've also now remember this is the first kind of Pakistani and first kind of Muslim hero, and the last thing they might want is her hooking up with a white guy. Because that
is true.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I think that's a bad idea.
We know how fucking fragile those communities are. I mean, Christ, Cinnabon just pulled a bill. that's
If
based
anything,
around
she'll
Muhammad's
probably kill
daughter.
him by the
They
end of the
just
series.
pulled that film. So
Yeah, but I think
I
that I
think
think
I don't read too much into it, Zam.
fair enough.
You're hooking onto something.
Well,
I mean,
fair enough.
they
If
might
it is,
be.
then fair enough.
I think they might be instigating a will they won't they, but I agree with you, Ginger. I don't think they will, and I don't think they're going to push on it too hard.
No, you can't force it.
Yeah,
No,
well, that's what
no.
I'm saying. Like,
Oh, look, do you think in the course of this show we're going to see this person?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, towards the end.
Toward the
Yeah.
end, he'll be there.
I think
Is
we're
it-
going to see Monica Rambeau. I don't think we're going to see Carol Danvers.
It's
No
going to tie in
way.
all together. Yeah, it's going to tie in all together. By the end of the series or whatever the fuck, it's just
Yeah,
going
because-
to all
but-
tie in.
We
But
got the Marvels
haven't they
coming out at the
said
end of
that
the year.
Sword? Haven't they said
So-
that Sword is involved in Ms. Marvel? And guess where Monica Rambeau is with Sword now.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to see Monica Rambeau, not Captain. Now we may see also Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, maybe. But I'm just saying, like, we're definitely going to see Monica
I
Rambeau.
think we're going to see her because it leads into the Miss Marvel's film that's coming out, which is
The
next year.
Marvels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marvels,
so then
yeah.
maybe she'll be in a post-credit scene or
probably.
something like that. But
That's what I
don't
think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a post-credit thing, and then the audience, just so the audience could go.
she's
You
going to
know,
be
like
in the
they always
movie.
do. Yeah.
Do we
Like,
not
what?
hate Brie Larson anymore?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the incels are going to have a fucking meltdown. Oh my god, another woman!
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm going to give this first episode an 8 out of 10. What about you, Chio?
I agree. 8 out of 10. It's a good, solid rating.
Greek,
7. Yeah, I liked it.
Jose.
I'm going to give it a 7.652 out of 10 there, damn it.
All right, Steiner.
Bring in the McMahon.
I'm a bit pissed off that, because we're not like the massive YouTubers like everyone else is, that we never got the second episode. Because
But we're beating her. I mean, we're beating her YouTube channel now for at least
Yeah.
the time being.
Yeah, exactly.
All
I've
right.
got more views than that bitch.
Yeah. Okay, and Daniel Vance gives it 4 out of 5
4 out of
stones.
What kind of stones? Kidney or
Kidney stones or Jurassic
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck.
Anyways, all right, so we're now on to Obi-Wan, or as I like to call it, Hobo One.
All right, and with that, I'm out because I have not seen any of this shit. So yeah.
All right, well, it's all spoilers from here, mate.
Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about Obi-Wan. So good seeing y'all.
All
All
right,
right, you
later.
too,
everybody.
Jose.
All right,
See you later.
later.
All right. Okay, so the good thing about the Obi-Wan episodes is they don't have any sort of subtitles. They're just called episode 1, 2, 3, and now we're on episode 4. This was the shortest episode, in my opinion, and I have to say, watching it, I didn't mind it too much, but overall, I'm a bit down with this show because it feels very much by the numbers. This is not really what I wanted from an Obi-Wan show. To tell you the truth, what we're getting from it, like he's been called Obi-Wan several times, and like just these things are always going to bug me. Like when he meets Luke calls him Obi-Wan, and he goes, "Oh, I haven't been called Obi-Wan long before you were born." Well, that's not the fucking case, is it? He's been called Obi-Wan like 9 years ago. So all of these things that are pissing me off. I feel. I don't know. I feel this is very by the numbers, and it's not as. This
show
a lot more
is
unique.
ranked number 1 in the worst shows of 2022 for me. I hate it, and the reason it ranks number 1 is because of the disappointment of it. I expected, I championed the shit out of this. People will see my screens back because I was saying I really want to see what Deborah Cho's gonna do, and she is just another fucking bland, generic. And you can tell that all the orders of how to do this film are coming from the producers and not from the director. This is it feels like a very studio-led show, not a director and actor dream kind of production. And I hate it. I hate this show. I hate it with a passion. Try to give it the benefit of doubt. Oh, I like this bit, like that bit, but It's some of the stuff they do is illogical. Some of the plots are just fucking stupid. Why the fuck is Leia in this? It's just, again, I said before, ignore the canon because they don't give a shit about the canon or the history. They just wing it, and this is just feels like they're just winging it, and everything feels rushed. And then there's this and that, and you have a great big massive snow speeder that can't kill a fucking Sith, and it's just rubbish, absolute rubbish.
It's not even a Sith; it's an Inquisitor.
It's a Sith. Shut up.
Half Sith.
It's a Sith.
Yeah, it's a Sith. Yeah.
Go on. Out. Go on.
I just, yeah, this is one of those cases of be
That's it.
careful
It's
what
not-
you wish
I mean,
for.
With all due respect, I mean, this show is not even worth. It's not even worth breaking down what happens. Take a couple of the key elements, and that's it. But it's just not worth breaking down and discussing about it. It's just so dumb. Just you go to this great big fucking tower, and it's so easy to get in. You choke a stormtrooper out. Wear his fucking uniform instead of trying to sneak
Yeah.
around.
I thought he would wear his uniform once he choked him out, but he didn't. Yeah.
It's like what?
That's
You know,
man, that's some Luke and Han levels of bullshit. What are you talking about? Obi-Wan ain't doing that.
But I was getting vibes of New Hope from this episode as well. Like it felt very New Hope-ish
Yeah,
in certain sense.
very New Hope.
He
He didn't dress up like a stormtrooper in that one either.
Yeah, I know, but I do feel like when I see Obi-Wan in this, he's kind of like taking the role of Luke, so to speak, like a different version of him. Regarding some of the steps, it's very similar to New Hope in that sense, but it's just very average, isn't it? It's just so average. Like this should be.
I don't care what happens in episode 5 and 6. I don't care. Like you've already destroyed the epic showdown between Vader and Obi-Wan. So I don't care when they show up again. We've got like Leia in the middle of this. It's just like there should have been more of a cat and mouse, and there should be other Jedis that we see, and other Jedis we see like getting slaughtered. Instead, we're doing all this crap that we're just treading on familiar ground again. It's just like even the bit where we see the tomb of all the Jedis, it's like so fucking what? Big deal.
You know, when we got to meet O'Shea Jackson Jr., that's Ice Cube's son, by the way. I've seen this trope a couple of times where I'm not going to help you, but I'm going to help you.
Yeah. I'll help you. Oh well, that he was convinced very easily.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
this guy died. So fucking what?
Oh, Wade. Oh, you want?
Oh,
Yeah,
Wade.
you've gone. Yeah, you've gone too soon, Wade. Yeah,
Gone too soon. Fucking
yeah.
skinny little crackhead.
I thought Moses Ingram was good in this.
She's literally the only thing I enjoy in this thing.
Yeah,
The only
she
thing.
was good.
She really went ghetto. I love this bit. Sorry, I apologize. But when Leia kind of twists things and she just this that thing with,
Howdy.
you motherfucking bitch, I'ma fuck you.
Daniel Vance says they're trying to follow the Shakespearean formula, but the writing is so bland it just falls a bit short. Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. I mean, honestly, I would have liked it if they did torture Leia. I thought, wow, they're going there. Yeah, I mean, give her a little bit of that torture treatment. But all of a sudden, like Obi-Wan is like not being able to hear her, and then just before like the button gets pressed, he does hear her.
I was gonna bring that up too, and I'm like surprise hearing, like the Force hearing, because like he was in that room for a while and she was screaming, and then all of a sudden you heard her. It's like,
this guy who looks like a Viking, apparently that's you, Ginger. Explain the stream
Yes.
to this dude.
Hello, I'm Eric the Reg, and welcome to our stream. We are talking about Ms Marvel, and we are also now talking about the Obi-Wans. Which, if you like the Obi-Wans, then you've come to the wrong stream because it's a terrible show, and we don't like it. It's full of plot holes and bad writings.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one thing everyone hates, who also dislikes Obi-Wan, is the one thing we like, which is Moses Ingram. So don't compare us to those fucking incel cunts. So yeah, the room with the fucking dead Jedis. What was all that about?
were they dead or were they just frozen in some kind of?
It could be either suspended animation or there could just be trophies of.
Although I
dead
feel like
Jedi.
if they were suspended animation, they would have been in carbonite, just because they would have used that trope of carbonite if they were still alive. But
Yeah, probably. So they're probably dead, and this is just them embalmed in a kind of amber tomb.
I know they had a youngling one. I was like, "Ooh, shit!"
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
think?
but at this point in time, I just didn't fucking care.
Do you think? Just to theorize a little bit, do you think this is like how? Like this is the beginning of like the cloning of force sensitive clones and stuff like that by using like DNA of Jedi's and stuff like that. You know, is this where it's going to a degree? Maybe down the
Not
Snoke
really.
path eventually and all of that.
Not
No.
really, because they don't. We don't see any of that in the in this in the original trilogy. So I don't know.
Oh my God, he's talking about me. My the quote high.
Maybe on the stream
Yeah,
because he's
with 3
brown.
lines in the whole season. What is this, Obi-Wan? Is there a new Star Wars?
I mean,
Yes, there is.
he fucking hosts this shit, so I hope he has more than 3 lines. Otherwise, we're in trouble.
No, but he's talking about the shows in the season. But yeah, I am the diversity hire. So
well, I mean, we've got an American, we got a Brit, and we got a
Brit.
we got a Brit, Asian,
Brick
and then a
Asian,
Brit.
a brick Greek, and a
Brick Greek.
Greek.
white
Yeah.
Anglo male.
So
Yes,
white
you
Anglo.
can't get more diverse than that, can you?
Right.
You know, we would get some women as well not in this, but we've only got a couple of them, which you should be quite happy with. All right, so where was I? I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, but I do think some of these Jedi's could be, you know, set up for the like maybe the Snoke thing or something like that. But that was a very left field thing as well. I was trying to look at them and see if I recognized any of them. Apparently, some of these guys are from the Clone Wars and stuff like that. As I haven't seen all the episodes of the Clone Wars, I'm totally unaware. But that was very bizarre. I did like the fact that when you know Obi-Wan when he finally saves Leia, he kills that one fucking stormtrooper, and the other stormtrooper acts like those stormtroopers or like those characters you get from video games where if you just have to be on the side and they can hear somebody getting killed, all of a sudden they don't know what the fuck's going on and like, where are you? You know what I mean? I know you're around here. You know, stop and stop and surrender. Even though he should have known exactly where that shit was coming from because it's all dark and the light comes from there, and he totally didn't realize. You know, he's still facing this way for fuck's sake. So fucking stupid. But yeah, Obi-Wan took care of him. Nice thing. And it's good to see him finally get that fucking lightsaber out. I know you're not a fan of that, Cheeto.
Absolutely not. I believe it or not. I mean, I agree with you that the show is definitely not living up to any of the hype that they've put behind it. But I mean, I'm enjoying, you know, seeing like the some of the workings of the Empire, seeing the Citadel thing, and seeing some of the Inquisitors that I don't know a lot about Inquisitors. Like, I didn't watch Clone Wars, I didn't watch Rebels, so it's like it's nice to kind of see some of these Inquisitors, and I know of Inquisitors, I just don't know the ins and outs of them. But
This is what I'm hoping we get, like in Andor. I hope we get a lot of shit that just focuses on the Empire and its workings and its in and out, because that stuff is actually fascinating.
Yeah, and that's what we're
the heroes and the
Obi-Wan.
characters that are the main focus are just of no fucking interest. It's so badly written now. It's just like, you know what? Just do a documentary based in the universe. I'd rather watch that than trying to see these idiots trying to write dialogue for Star Wars characters. It's like it's worse than fucking watching the prequels, and they
Actually,
suck.
on NerdTube, I posted a video on how Liberty dies. It's a really fucking good video this guy made based on the prequels and the Clone Wars, and basically explaining how, you know, Palpatine got to power and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Really worth watching if you've got a couple of hours to burn. So that's the thing. I mean, 1 hour 18 minutes is, but I watched the whole fucking thing. Okay, so we have the tampering of fucking Lola. Okay, guy on the you read that, Gio.
Guy on top right, who's in every movie where he plays the American father who's hip because he's always cool with all the boys that are around his 19-year-old daughter. Wow. What's so good about Star Wars? I like fantasy more than sci-fi. I love how he's like, you know, characterizing us. It gives us charm. We should have these on our bios.
Well,
I think
you can
the
actually
latter
be an
of these
actual
are
character.
Star Wars. Not much.
You could be, you can be an actual character. I'm just diversity higher because I can't be anything more than that. But you can actually be something. Like you could be an American
You
father.
could be the hero, the American
Yeah.
that causes all the troubles but saves the day as well.
Yeah, but apparently I could also be a billionaire from America that screws over all of his employees. All I got to do is shave my head and act like a doof.
And put a cigar in your mouth.
You put a cigar in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm Guy Everyman.
Yeah. By the way, some of the stuff with Talia kind of bothered me a little bit because she's right there on the comm speaking in this fucking thing. There's a guy next to her. Doesn't even notice that shit. You know what I mean? Guy behind her, she takes care of him by fucking knocking him out. Nobody else hears that and just leaves the body lying on the floor. You know what I mean? If you're playing one of these stealth games, you'll be caught in seconds. Yeah. So like, I found
this place has got the Death Star syndrome, where it's like you got them all walking around. Like on the Death Star, you've got like, you got guys walking around everywhere and they're sneaking around everywhere, and like nobody sees anybody because there's no guards walking around in a lot of parts of the Death Star.
Well, in John Wick 3, like I'm gonna go a little spoiler in John Wick. Sorry, geez, I hope you don't mind if you ever decide to watch those movies.
I'm good.
But by the time they made John Wick 3, he was just basically killing people in public.
Yeah.
And just throwing the body on the floor, and people are just walking around it like they're in the fucking
shooting at each other while walking past.
People like in the Matrix simulation or some shit like that. So, but it was getting kind of like that a little bit. But then, like, after Obi-Wan saves, and by the way, I like the way Talia did speak to Reva. Like, she kind of double bluffed her and said to her that, I am a spy. I've been infiltrating the rebellion and all of that sort of stuff. That was kind of clever. But once they were escaping, fucking Obi-Wan's got fucking Leia under a trench coat and he's trying to hide her that way.
I know, that was so bad. Like,
it's the most ridiculous. Like, I'm thinking to myself, is he like what the fuck? I mean, how's he getting away with that? Eventually, obviously, the people, the guy in the chat sounds like he is jelly of the three amazing cunts brave enough to put their faces on the screen. Yes, I agree with you. Whoever Milk Toast Gaming is, yes, I do agree with you.
Milk Toast Gaming, you sound absolutely correct.
Yes,
and brave,
I totally agree.
And probably very well hung as well.
I'm very happy I did watch this episode twice, because at first I thought to myself, who the fuck are these two pilots? But we do see them earlier in this episode with O'Shea Jackson when they're planning out how to rescue Leia. So those are the two people that come along. They saved them and stuff like that. And we see some nice sort of sword play from Revo, from blocking the lightsaber, blocking the massive bolts from the A-wings. I'm not sure if a lightsaber can do that, but she was doing that.
It's snow speeders.
Oh, fair enough. And they escape, but Wade gets killed. Too bad for Wade. And we find out by the end of the episode that after Vader has got really pissed off with River, that he's left that River's left the fucking what do you call it?
Tracking device.
A tracking device in Lola. And and so this is how I think it's going to happen. I think next week we're going to, by the end of episode 5, the Empire's going to come along, probably take Leia again, maybe kill off Talia as well for some emotional shit. And I think maybe we'll get a moment with Qui-Gon turning Ben into the Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi we see in A New Hope, who's obviously more confident now and wanting to resurrect the Jedi Order and shit like that. And episode 6, we get the fight between Vader and Kenobi again. Pretty much.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it was a
Yeah,
very.
that's it.
It's just such a mediocre episode with. There's no meat on these bones, unfortunately. He's saving Leia. This is like like he's like I want to have. I know some people disagree with this already, but I would like to have him have one interaction with Luke in this show, just one. You know what I mean? That would be. I'm fine with that. He's not getting any of that, and it's just him and Leia, and I just feel that this really takes away from. Like, this is about what Obi-Wan did during the time he was fucking on Tatooine, and this is what we're getting. This is what he did. I find this to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just such a disappointment.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that terrible, but I mean, I know you guys have super high expectations. I did not. I was basically saying, I mean, I'm actually happier that there's not as much Jedi bullshit besides the Inquisitors, really, and Obi-Wan flailing around a lightsaber every now and then.
To be fair, at this point in time, I don't want to see any more Jedi shit anymore because they're not doing it right. They're not doing it justice. It's all shit. And even the combat is so badly edited. It's like, who the fuck did this? Was it a kid in charge of hopped up on Mountain Dew and just headbutting the fucking keyboard? It's all over the place, the edited. So it's just like, you know what? Just give me Andor, which is gonna suck dick as well. But just give me fucking Andor, where I don't want to see the Jedi's getting shit on. Just give me a bunch of soldiers that are fucking dying and being cunts and all that. That I can handle. But the absolute defecation of the legacy of Skywalker is just
we say it every week. They need to move away from the Skywalker saga.
Like I said, I didn't mind this episode too much, but I'm looking at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is that this is just a very by the numbers, not something like this should be so much more unique, and it's just a fetch quest. You know what I mean? And and it should be way more than that. It should have more depth than that, and it doesn't. I mean, it started off really promisingly. I'll be honest with you, it did start off pretty like Obi-Wan on Tatooine, miserable as fuck. I didn't think it was too bad, but once the Leia got kidnapped and shit like that, and even the Leia scenes in the beginning were not that great.
Oh, they're just painful to watch. Fucking it's painful. It's like, at least if the actress was better. I don't mean to shit on the poor kid, obviously, but it's just like I just don't care. I don't care about any of this.
For me, it's just too much of her. I wouldn't mind a bit of Leia, but it's too much of her. There's no fucking Luke. That's what I find the fucking sin. There should be more Luke. You know what I mean? For fuck's sake, get Luke in.
No, I actually like the bait and switch that they gave us, that it's actually Leia based, not rather than Luke based. Like, I mean,
Luke would have been fine to have pop up here and there, but I would rather it was just Kenobi just not being able to hide, like trying to save the last of the Jedi again or something like that. And or he just gets discovered, and then it's a cat and mouse game. They're chasing him, and he's trying to get as far away from Luke as possible, rather than this shit.
This was like The Mandalorian, but with Obi-Wan Kenobi leading it.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. It's another babysitting film.
Yeah,
Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, and I really expected a lot better than that. We never got it, unfortunately, and I just want the show to end now, just for the sake of it. I'm gonna finish it off without a doubt. I'm
just moving forward. I don't give a shit about anything else Star Wars coming out now. I don't care that Ahsoka's coming out. I really don't care about Mandalorian season 3 now that Grogu's back. It's just like, at this point, Star Wars is just whatever. If it's on, I'll fucking watch it, but I'm not running to watch it anymore because they've fucked this franchise beyond more than what Lucas fucking did. I mean, they fucked this franchise so hard that now it's just like, you know what? Whatever. And I'm scared they're going to do the same with Marvel now. Because like I said, they're moving towards a different demographic. And I'm scared we're just going to get a bunch of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks kind of stuff. Instead of now just forget all this fucking pointless legacy character replacement shit that we had in the comic books. Like nobody, who the fuck cares about Echo and Ironheart and all this shit? You want your diversity? Go straight towards the X-Men. Go straight to the X-Men, the original kings of the diversity stuff. Okay, which has hard-hitting storylines about racial segregation and racism and all this kind of stuff. Just go straight there.
Civil
Forget
rights, the lot.
project. But I'm
Yeah.
scared we're going to get 20,000 different characters. It's going to get bloated, rubbish. And if you're not working towards another big event, they're just pointless filler characters.
See, I don't hate Star Wars. I'm disappointed with Star Wars. It's a difference for me. It's more disappointment because I love Star Wars, and it's funny that there's only a handful of good films and everything else is shit.
4 good films, 4 good films, and the rest is garbage.
I
Yeah.
knew you loved Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, it's the best. Oh my god, I watch it every night.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your fourth? I know what the first 3 are, but what's your fourth?
Rogue One, dickhead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't even lump that in with the Skywalker saga because Rogue One is too good to be affiliated with
Listen, Rogue One is elite.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything else is there, but Rogue One is like elite.
Yeah.
But that's the only 4 that I like. That's it.
Listen, if Rogue One, if the movie Rogue One was an actual person, I'd blow it. Shit.
Me too. Yeah, I'd have my tongue right up its ass.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
Sam.
we got the High Republic. You know, I'm sure you.
Oh,
looking
fuck.
forward to
Don't
that.
give a flying monkey's rectum
You know that
about a bunch of
that's
Jedi's
a car
fighting a
crash.
beast that eats the Force.
It's gonna be a fucking car
Dog
crash.
shit.
I know it. Is that gonna be a
There's
single
no
film? Or they're
Sith.
making
What's the point?
They have to get away from the Skywalker saga. They don't. I don't know how they don't realize this.
Well, they got stuck with it. I mean, Rogue Squadron would have been away from the Skywalkers if
No, it wasn't. Rogue Squadron takes place during the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not necessarily have any of them in it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, they would have shoehorned in they can't. The problem. See,
help
this is the
themselves.
other problem I have with a lot of shows, even like Transformers, not Transformers, Ghostbusters, and did this as well. It's the nostalgia bait. Stop relying on the nostalgia bait because it's like with WWE when you're relying on like one wrestler and you're not building up the rest of the roster, okay, and then it all just crumbles and then you're fucked. The same thing here. If you're not building up new properties completely away from what was there, then you're going to get stuck eventually. Because even the Mandalorian now is keep harking back to fucking stuff from Filoni's animated pish. And it's just like, I don't care about this. I don't give a fuck about Bill Burr Stormtrooper. I don't give a fuck about this shit. It's a Mandalorian. Let's focus on the Mandalorians, which it looks like we're actually going to get in the 3rd season.
The fucking Grogu running around in his little helmet and chainmail.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I know it's kind of depressing because you can make your own lore and your own legacy, and unfortunately they like to harken back to yesteryear all the fucking time, which is a shame.
That's why I'm happy with shows with like Amazon and Netflix because they're building new properties that don't have a legacy, so they don't need to fucking nostalgia bait you, and the stuff is like 10 miles ahead of any of the shit Disney produces.
Yeah,
Like The Boys, Umbrella Academy, Stranger Things, Invincible, all these kind of shows, Arcane, they're just leagues above anything anyone else is producing.
yeah, because it's new and they're not relying on nostalgia bait. There's good quality writing and storytelling, for sure.
And it proves the point that you don't need to keep making the same old tired crap. People want new things. It's just Hollywood has such a cinema box office backwards mentality with these hack producers that are just glorified accountants rather than artists. And this is why you just get the same old generic crap. Like, well, the audience likes it. I'm saying the audience will like anything if you market it correctly. If your marketing is good, they will go and watch anything. Deadpool had a budget of a gnat's erection, but the marketing was so good that people were like, oh, is this in the X-Men universe? I'll go watch it. And it made a killing.
It also came out.
Right, you could sell anything.
It also came out in February, which was a fantastic time for it to come out, but they had no competition as well.
Yeah, and that's usually when you release things because Fox released it in February because they had no faith in it, because that's like the dead era. But John Wick and Deadpool made February a bankable month now because they're like, oh, well,
the
we can
Valentine
release it in
weekend.
the dead period. People will
Yeah,
go watch
didn't
it.
they release it on Valentine's Day weekend too? Like they
Yeah,
marketed it to the
Valentine's
they made
Day.
it look like a freaking
Mhm.
Valentine's movie. On I
Yeah.
had people legitimately asking me, is Deadpool actually a back when it first came out? There were people asking me like, is Deadpool a legitimate romantic comedy? And I said, yes, it is.
But you see, that's the marketing of it. And that was Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds had free reign to push this how he wanted. And they didn't have a lot of money to even market it, but he utilized social media brilliantly. And it created, it was a huge
And it
hit.
revitalized his career as well.
And it revitalized his career.
Daniel Vance, the biggest thing they'll get from this series will be the full body renderings of McGregor and Christensen. Disney will own those bodies for all future projects and won't need the actors. Yeah, but can they do the voices? That's the thing.
They'll
Like,
just get the
Peter
voice actor
Serafinowicz
from Clone
are the
Wars.
perfect Vader anyway, so they're okay.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we've gone on enough about this. What we're gonna give this episode, Obi-Wan, I'm gonna be generous with it and give it a just for the episode alone, with some of the lightsabers and some of the pew pews, I'm gonna give it a 6 or 7. I don't do halves. I'll be nice and give it a 7. Greek
2.
Gio.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with 6. Actually, I'll change my.
I mean, there were definitely a lot of issues with this episode, but I mean, I agree. I like the pew pews. I like but other than the not plot holes, but like the inconsistencies and stuff like that, I didn't mind this episode too much. So
3 out of 5 star.
It's 39 minutes long, so it's like just
not even that. It's 30 minutes long. If you take away the credits and the and the recap, another thing that Disney pisses me off with. Hey, recap. I don't need a recap. I have the streaming service.
I can watch it whenever if I want.
Again, old TV mentality. Well, just like people from Paramount.
They have to they lead you by their hands, and sometimes I think to yourself, oh, why are they showing us this guy from 5 episodes ago? Oh, because now this guy is going to have a prominent role in this fucking episode. That's why you're doing they do shit like that, and it's really insulting. It really is.
It's old TV mentality. It's 90s TV mentality. Because of cable and the channel hopping, people think that you're going to forget these things.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But imagine if you're binge watching this and it goes to the next episode and you're already watching a recap. It's just like, you think, Disney, think.
Fair enough. Well, tomorrow we're going to be doing our Star Trek double bill, which is not really a double bill of Star Trek, but it's awful. It's awful, and Strange New Worlds. Can't wait for that. I'll be joined by Cheeto and our resident Star Trek guy in Major Rage as well. You not started watching Orville yet, Ginger Greek?
Nah, I can't be asked.
Never got into it.
I heard that it's the Babylon 5 of this era.
Shut up. Yeah, I got into it. I liked it more than I like Star Trek, but I just can't be bothered to get back into it. I watched the first series and half of the second series, I think.
Dude, halfway through the second season, there's a kick-ass space battle in there. You got to watch it with the Kalon. Oh, it's so good.
It looks like Disney, by the way, clapped onto Orville, but I think they want their own Star Trek show, and I have to say that season 3. They kind of put the jokes to one side, and they're trying to take themselves a lot more seriously.
They did that in season 2. They really cut down on the jokes, even in season 2. I found.
Oh, but no, season 3 is totally. Season 3 is another level, mate. It was like season. You could even notice it.
We're one episode in. We don't know that yet.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but it's all right. I love it. It does feel like TNG Star Trek. So. Yeah, it feels like TNG. It really does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Strange New Worlds has been pretty good so far. I've enjoyed all the episodes of Strange New Worlds so far. So
that's good to hear. Yeah, so a lot of people are enjoying that.
You need to fight in a strange new world because of where it's set. It needs a couple of God aliens episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just for the sake
they
of
need
it.
to make they need to make no sense. Like, you know, they just need to be God aliens that are gods, and they're just like, and then we never hear about them again. That's exactly how TOS was.
God aliens, and maybe like some aliens that look like Greek gods, and some of them look like they've been fighting in the American Civil War and all that sort of shit. Yeah.
No.
You know what I
They
mean?
need to go. They need to go to a planet where like every like all the it's where all the mascots of fast food chains are. Like they
Yeah.
like
So,
Get your Trimbles or whatever they were called.
yeah. So that's what
and I
they
think
need.
you'd be
Those are the gods of the night of the 2000s and 90s.
and you'll be back with me on Friday, Ginger, for the episode 4 of The Boys.
Yeah, as long as I'm home, yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. All right, so to everyone else out there in YouTube land and Twitch as well as Facebook, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye bye.